Welcome into PFF HQ. Austin Gayle here with senior analyst Cam Mellor, ready to talk a little Carolina Panthers state of the franchise. I know all the spotlight's on Cam Newton, but before I let you dive into Cam, I want to talk some of the weapons. I am a huge fan of Curtis Samuel. Late last season, he was starting to find a role at outside wide receiver, improved his receiving grade at outside wide receiver to sub 60.0 to over 75.0 late last season. He has great releases, can create separation down the field, sneaky good contested catch guy, and obviously he has that yards after catch ability, but he doesn't need to be used as a gadget player in this offense. He can create separation on normal vertical route trees, and I think I'm excited to see him take another step forward in year 3 of his career. They obviously have DJ Moore, a rookie phenom last year, ended up finishing high in grades among rookie wide receivers. I think there's a lot of talent there, and I didn't even bring up Christian McCaffrey, Ian Thomas. There are guys that Cam can throw to. Now, where are the question marks with Cam Newton's game, and what can he do with this weaponry?
So you set me up nicely. The weaponry he has, it's all tailored to one certain thing, a guy that he needs to get the ball to in space, let them do their thing, let them act as that shifty receiver after the catch threat, let McCaffrey go out of the backfield. It's just a matter of whether Cam can get the ball to them. That is the question. Cam, yes, he won the MVP in 2015, but I recently took flack for saying Cam is in a division with 3 other MVP caliber quarterbacks and himself. So I need to clarify a little bit here. Even in that MVP season of 2015, Cam was just the 5th highest rated quarterback that year. There was 4 dudes above him that were very much well worthy. Obviously, Cam got the nod regardless. Since then, he's had a bit of a regression in a PFF grade-wise. He even rebounded this past season to a 70 overall. It's a 70 overall. It was just the 23rd highest rated quarterback last year. So we're talking a guy who needed to rebound just to eclipse almost the top 20 mark as a quarterback. He has the 4th most. He actually leads the NFC South in interceptions from a clean pocket, and that includes Jameis Winston. Obviously, he has a little bit of missed time there with Jameis, but he's still leading Jameis, Breeze, and Matt Ryan from a clean pocket interceptions. He's a guy who just doesn't necessarily make all the throws that you would want an MVP caliber quarterback to make. It hasn't happened since then. 2015 may have been the anomaly. And we're talking about a guy in, I think the biggest comparison that people were saying is that Jameis Winston. Do you really see it in Jameis Winston? Jameis is a guy who, second last year in positively graded plays from the quarterback position, entering year 5 and a make it or break it year. Let's not forget that Cam won his MVP in year 5 in what was maybe seen as a make it or break it year after 4 years of middling grades. Not saying Jameis is an MVP candidate at this point. He has the caliber to play like one, though. Cam needs to play better. The Panthers need to play better for him to be in that conversation again. That being said, though, I could spend all day on Cam Newton and maybe why I think that. They do have the weapons that he can get the ball to. They have the offensive scheme that kind of gears towards that level of play. On defense, they have maybe one of the best, if not the best, the 2nd best linebacker in the league in Luke Kuechly. But you really like that defensive line as well in Carolina.
Absolutely. They've added some talent to that defensive line, specifically round 1 pick Brian Burns out of Florida State, and another 4th rounder who I was high on as well, and Christian Mellor from Alabama. I think we tagged this team as one of the most improved pass rush units, and you didn't even bring up that they added Gerald McCoy. You have Gerald McCoy, Quan Short, Brian Burns, a veteran in Bruce Irvin. Maybe he doesn't have a lot left on those tires, but still a veteran presence who's pass rushed at a high level in this league before, and Christian Mellor as a rotational threat as a pass rusher. I think I like all of those guys a ton. I had an opportunity to interview both Brian Burns and Christian Mellor ahead of the draft and came away super impressed with both of their ability and their willingness to improve. Brian Burns specifically is seen as a speed rush guy, a very explosive athlete with sky's the limit. He has a ceiling as high as anyone, but he has an obtainable ceiling in my opinion because he's willing to kind of do what it takes to be a great pass rusher in the NFL. I think him inserted into the starting lineup opposite of Bruce Irvin with a rotating Christian Mellor and Quan Short and Gerald McCoy inside, I'm talking about a great defensive line there.
It does sound like you like it, obviously. Brian Burns is a guy who led the nation in pressures last year before the postseason started, a guy who can bend the edge and was bending the edge and also rushing past those ACC tackles at will. I like the defense. Obviously, it does come back to Cam, though. Unfortunately, I shared the name with him there, so it sounds like I'm talking about myself a little bit here, but we're not talking about the Panthers. This was the state of the franchise for the Carolina Panthers. For Austin Gayle, I'm Cameron Mellor. Remember, take a look at PFF.com and subscribe to our PFF channel on YouTube below. We'll see you again.